It's time for my favorite part of the show, Money, Power, Politics. It's day 28. Get your head around that. Day 28 of the government shutdown. That means that 800,000 federal workers have gone nearly a month without a paycheck. But as the stalemate continues, individuals and companies across the country are stepping in and stepping up to help. The latest company to take a stand, the online payment system, PayPal, whose CEO says the company is putting wall politics aside to help government workers, arguing that it is not a red or blue issue. It is a red, white, and blue issue. The company announced today that it will offer an interest-free cash advance of up to $500 to any federal employee that's struggling to make ends meet. I want to start by saying thank you to the CEO who joins me now, PayPal CEO Dan Schulman. Dan, you wrote an op-ed in USA Today this morning explaining why your company has decided to take a stand.
Yeah. So, Stephanie, first of all, it's great to see you, and thank you for having me on the show. I did write an op-ed, and it reflects the values and the mission of PayPal. You know, our mission is all about driving financial health for citizens around the world. And, you know, through no fault of their own, a month ago, 800,000 of our fellow citizens found themselves without a paycheck. And as you know, so many of Americans in general and federal workers as well live paycheck to paycheck. And so just the essentials that they need, buying grocery, getting gasoline, you know, they're rationing their medications. I think that the private sector now has the opportunity and also I think the obligation to step up and help, which is why we did this initiative.
The obligation, but it's also the government's obligation to pay these people for work they've done. So even though what you're doing is a good thing, isn't it frustrating to you that these people need this kind of help, even though they've got full-time jobs?
Yeah, I think no matter where you stand on the issue, and there are people on both sides of this issue, what we really try to do as a company and as a team is follow what our values are. And our values really said to us that we need to do this. As you mentioned in the beginning, this isn't a red or a blue issue. This really is an issue that involves our communities that we live in. The public sector is an essential part of what all of us as citizens count on. And so when we have the opportunity to lean in, to think about creative solutions, we should do that. And it has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with values.
Well, take me back a month before now, before this shutdown. Given what PayPal does, you bank the unbanked. You see what our economy actually looks like. Help us understand, because one of the things that led to the rise of President Trump was so many Americans who said, the financial crisis hit me and hit me hard, and I didn't come back. But you did in San Francisco, and I did in New York. Tell me what the country and the economy actually looks like.
Yeah. So it's not a great picture if you look at it. 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 80% live that way. Almost half of the country has less than $400 of savings. And so we live really in a world where we count on whatever income we can get and the next paycheck that's coming in. And in many ways, this idea of financial health, which really drives all of us at PayPal, I think is a fundamental issue for us all to address as citizens, not just here in the United States, but there are 2 billion people in the world who live outside the financial system. And we should be able to use things like technology and like digital money to make life easier for them, to be able to do transactions less expensively, to do them more securely, to be able to make those transactions that many people take for granted, but for billions of people in the world are time-consuming and very expensive.
Then when we celebrate that we're at full employment, do you know better knowing how cash-strapped Americans are?
Well, I think employment is one measure, but really financial health is the key measure that we need to look at. Are people putting away savings? Are they able to access money when they most need it? And that's why we put up this $25 million fund to help some 50,000 families, because this is up to $500 per loan, so this could help 50,000 families to create some flexibility and some certainty for them in these times that are very uncertain in general.
Financial security makes people feel a whole heck of a lot better. Dan, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, PayPal. See, we say how divided the country is. We say how angry people are. There's great individuals and great companies doing things every day. Let's thank them and celebrate it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.